A very eerie image and question has to be asked. Who placed the letter E or epsilon on the planet Mars as well as on the moon? On the left we have the planet Mars, on the right we have moon images. Now many times we see these things that look like pareidolia from what scientists tell us, but this is clearly, it looks like it's not a natural formation. Sometimes some observations on nearby planets surprise or constantly shake our intelligence, but you can easily skip this. What happens when you encounter the same paradox over and over again? Isn't it weird? And the thing is that you can see that it's almost the same scale, the letterings. Now, what happens when you encounter the same paradox? Many cannot accept the possibility of extraterrestrial civilizations. They're also not satisfied with the possibility that an earthly civilization in the distant past had the ability to travel in space and in fact to build colonies on some planets. We know from the Emerald Tablets written by Thoth the Atlantean, Atlanteans were supposedly, according to Greek ancient texts, from the skies. We have mythologies all over the world, from China, Japan, Korea even lately, saying that they had visitations from extraterrestrials about 2400 BC. That's about 4,500 years ago. And the same time that legends from the Sumerians and the ancient Egyptians and even the Anunnaki and the star people from Native Americans, legends from star people from the skies. And you'll find the Emerald Tablets written by Thoth the Atlantean in my playlist. He describes tremendous technology that they had. They had interstellar travel. They also had interdimensional travel from one dimension to the other. So there are those who can't accept this. So many times, however, the data, or if you want the clues, have the potential to be better expressed by us. So there's a video by Sandra Elena Andrade presenting the research of the Argentinian researcher Marcelo Irazusta, showing us some similarities he found that exist on the planet Mars and the moon. And this is a case of the epsilon, the E. The observation and comparison was done through Google Moon and Google Mars, with photos clearly provided by NASA. And here are the coordinates if you want to find them. Here, Irazusa sees a 58 on Mars, a 58. However, it could be E8 or X8. And in a more advanced interpretation, the double or reverse E. On the moon, we see an SE or SX. And in all cases, the law of paradox enters, which tell us that in a formation, everyone sees what he wants to see and not what really is there. So whatever each of us sees, quote unquote, the essence does not change. It's the same symbol. The shape that strongly resembles an E is common in both cases. And then the strange thing that some shape that contains an E is found on the moon. And in addition, we can also note that the Greek letter epsilon we've seen again on the moon. Could it not be a coincidence? Then you have a moon gate and you have a Mars gate. Okay, a satellite. On the left you have the moon, on the right you have the planet Mars. These gates that we see, what are these openings? They're the same kind of structures, rectangular openings. And again, these are the coordinates for those openings on the moon and on Mars. So here we see from P, the way it's placed, it's more reminiscent of a gate, which obviously leads somewhere below the surface. And then you have meandering structures. Here in both photos of the moon, we see meandering structures consisting of perfect straight lines, as if we want to identify the find with some kind of construction. It's probably a wall, something similar but not so distinct and comparable we can find on Mars as well. Strange similarities discovered between Mars and the moon. So how can it be possible to meet in two different celestial bodies, similar constructions and the same symbols? The only assessment we can make is that in both there were intelligent creatures that not only developed but also exchanged knowledge. This, of course, is the case for both Mars and the moon, and they were visited perhaps by some third civilization from another planet, or stellar system, or even from our own Earth itself, from time when many indications in ancient traditions show that they had very advanced technology to travel in space as well. Let's remember the Antikythera device, which is a constellation clock, the Greek mythology. There are hundreds of references to the subjects of space travel, and as such as descriptions of the moon, but also reference to Phaethon that had the ability to orbit the moon many times. I've translated this for you from a Greek article. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.